Hey parents, let's talk about toxins, those hidden health disrupting substances that are literally lurking everywhere from pesticides, preservatives, microplastics, seed oils, heavy metals, and countless chemicals that are found in household cleaning products. Soaps, detergents, makeup, and even our food. It's all over the place. Simply put, our kids are growing up with a higher toxic load than ever before, and it's taking a serious toll on their health and development. So, research actually shows that this increasing exposure to toxins is directly linked to the skyrocketing rates of chronic childhood conditions, including things like ADHD and autism, asthma and allergies, sensory processing disorders, and even autoimmune diseases. So this video is for parents who are concerned about their children's exposure to environmental toxins, and they're seeking natural, drug-free solutions to reduce this toxic burden and protect their children's health and development in today's increasingly toxic world. So in this video, we're going to cover three key things. First, how toxins contribute to your child's total load and why chronic illness is really on the rise. Second, the connection between toxins, stress, and nervous system dysfunction. And then third, the key steps that you can take to help your child reset and detox naturally. So let's go ahead and get into it. Over the last 5 to 10 years, we've seen a major shift in how parents approach health. So just about a decade ago, if you had brought up concerns about heavy metals or pesticides or processed foods, maybe 10 to 20% of parents would have known what I was talking about. But today, anywhere between 80 to 90% of parents that come to our office have actually heard about these issues. And at least 60 to 80% of our new patients have already made significant lifestyle changes with regards to these toxins and these lifestyles. Yet despite all these efforts, chronic childhood illnesses are at an all-time high, and here's why. Toxins are the only part of the equation that it's being spoken about. Most parents know about the dangers of chemicals, but what if toxic stress is just as harmful, if not worse, than toxic chemicals? The truth is, before environmental toxins even enter the picture, most of our kids are already dealing with neurological stress and developmental challenges that set the stage for chronic illness. That's where the total load theory and the perfect storm come in. So let's talk about how toxins and stresses overload the nervous system and talk about that total load theory. Really why chronic illness is potentially exploding today. Your child's body has a limited capacity to handle stressors. So when the bucket overflows, symptoms start to develop. The toxic burden today is unprecedented, and there's research that shows it. Autism rates have skyrocketed from 1 in 150 children in 2000 to 1 in 36 today. ADHD affects over 11% of children, with cases increasing dramatically in recent years. Asthma is now a huge impact. 1 in 12 kids, up to 50% since 1980, are dealing with asthma. Autoimmune conditions in children have more than doubled in the past 2 decades. So this explosion of chronic conditions isn't just random. It's a result of an increasing total load that exceeds the body's ability to adapt and heal. So let's talk about the next thing, the neurological connection. How toxins disrupt your child's nervous system. Toxins don't just build up in the body, they disrupt the nervous system's ability to regulate and heal. So many environmental chemicals mimic neurotransmitters, and that leads to things like the overactivation of the fight or flight response. Having an oversympathetic response in your nervous system is a big deal because that can eventually lead to suppression of the rest, regulate, and digest and heal functions of the nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system. It also leads to impaired detoxification and immune function because the body can't rest and digest and heal. Chronic inflammation and nervous system stress is huge as well too when this happens. The nervous system gets stuck in a survival mode and it struggles to process toxins effectively, setting the stage for developmental, immune, and behavioral challenges. During hunting and gatherer times, right, way back when, we could say, it was okay to have an activation of your fight or flight mode. In fact, they would turn it on, right, so that they could either maybe run from a bear or they could chase down and hunt their food. That was an appropriate thing for them to be doing. The problem is, nowadays, we get stuck in a fight or flight mode and we're not running from a bear. We're also not hunting down our food typically. And if we are, we're doing it in a much different manner than they did back then. So they could very easily back then, during those times, they could switch on the fight or flight mode. And then they could easily, once they were done, go back into that rest and digest stage. The problem is when we stay in fight or flight mode for too long, our nervous system does get stuck in that survival mode, and then it struggles to do all the other things that it's supposed to be able to do. So when we get stuck in this fight or flight mode, that's when we start to deal with something called the perfect storm, when stress and toxins collide and the body can't do what it's supposed to do. So most parents focus on removing toxins after birth, but the toxic stress load often begins even before that in pregnancy. So think about this. Maternal stress and anxiety elevate cortisol levels, and that predisposes a child's nervous system to dysregulation. Then there's also things like birth interventions once baby's starting to come into this world, inductions, forceps, vacuum and C-sections. These can all cause physical stress and subluxation, making it harder for a baby to adapt. Now, subluxation is what we call nervous system stress that's stuck on somebody's nervous system and it's not allowing function to come out appropriately. Another really key big hitter here is antibiotics, vaccines, pesticides, processed foods, and they all add layers of chemical stress that further disrupts the gut-brain connection. What does this result in? It results in a generation of kids whose nervous systems are overwhelmed before they've even had a chance to thrive. And so we've got to be doing something different so that they can start to thrive and start their lives thriving as well too, right? So what's the missing link? How does subluxation or nervous system stress trap toxins in the body? When the nervous system is stuck in a fight or flight mode, it shuts down gut motility and detox pathways. What this means is that even if you eliminate toxins, your child's body may not be able to even release them properly. So subluxation, again, or nervous system stress that's stuck, disrupts nerve signaling, keeping the body in a pro-inflammatory state 24/7. That's not good. If we're stuck in a pro-inflammatory state 24/7, then our bodies don't function the way that they're supposed to. They get overly stressed. They start to set aside important and key functions that they're supposed to be doing, and that's when these chronic disease conditions start to pop up. So the good news is this can be reversed. So while the challenge of environmental toxins does seem really overwhelming, just know this, that there's certainly hope and that you've found a good place. Most importantly and excitedly today, there are a lot of different types of doctors or providers and organizations that can really help guide you through the process of reducing the toxic load and exposure to chemicals for your family, as well as help hit reset and release on all the toxic stress buildup that may be stuck and subluxated within your child's nervous system. So we call this the combo effect, where families not only shift to a far more natural and toxin-free lifestyle, but they also focus and gain access to neurologically focused chiropractic care to help make adjustments that restore function to the nervous system. And then in turn, this helps majorly activate the body's natural innate detox and elimination pathways. That's what we want. If we can make sure that the nervous system's unstressed, then all those pathways start to work the way that they're supposed to. So we find again and again that while we can't go backward and avoid all the toxins, chemicals, and stressors we now know about, we can absolutely put all sorts of healing modalities and mechanisms into play going forward. And the best news ever is this: our kids are meant to heal. Your body was meant to do the things that it's supposed to do, and it's supposed to do them appropriately. That's something that God created you with. Now, the most common initial response to kids getting adjusted are things like this: better sleep, improved digestion, and improved immune function, less inflammation, better detox and elimination functions, and so much more. While the level of environmental toxins today can feel overwhelming, again, just remember there's hope. The best way to help your child thrive isn't just about removing toxins, it's about helping their nervous system reset and heal. So here's what we recommend. Again, we've already kind of touched on this. You can shift to a more natural and toxin-free lifestyle, but then the key component is making sure that you seek out neurologically focused chiropractic care to help restore nervous system function and activate those detox pathways so that they can do what they're supposed to do. So when your kid starts to get adjusted, again, we tell people these are soft neurological signs. These are things that you'll see your kids start to experience. Better sleep, improved digestion, detox function, stronger immune system, reduced inflammation, nervous system balance. And if you've already removed toxins, but your child is still struggling, it's likely that subluxation and nervous system stress are keeping them stuck. So what I'd recommend is this: click the link in our bio or comment in the direct messages, whatever, and say that you want to learn more about neurologically focused chiropractic care, because it could be the missing link in your child's healing journey. We've also included resources and organizations that can help your family transition to a toxin-free lifestyle. So if you have questions, again, drop them in the comments or send us a direct message. Click the link in our bio. We really can't wait to see your family experience unheard of levels of health and happiness. And we're super excited to have you here and on this health journey. Let us know if you have any questions. You're awesome. Have a great rest of your day. We'll talk to y'all soon.